If you've convinced yourself it's too late, I need you to hear me out. Because right now, there's a 44-year-old man racing against drivers half his age, and he's beating most of them. His name is Fernando Alonso, and he proves something that you desperately need to hear. Age isn't a limit. It's just a number people use as an excuse. I get it. I'm the same. I feel like I've wasted years on stupid things, on doom scrolling, on drinking alcohol, wasting my time watching TV shows, watching sports, watching other people do great things, whether it's in movies, sports, or just people on the internet, whilst I've never actually done anything myself. So I feel like it's too late, and you might feel like it's too late also. But here's the problem with that story. It's actually a lie, because it's not too late. Because in this video, I'm not talking about motivational nonsense. I'm talking about a guy who's literally competing at the highest level of sport. The highest level in a sport that has the most physical and mentally demanding sports in the world. A guy older than most of the other drivers' fathers out there. Fernando Alonso is proof that everything you think you know about age and opportunity is wrong. Fernando Alonso was born in July 1981 in a working class town in the north of Spain. His father was a factory mechanic. His mother worked in a department store. They weren't wealthy, they weren't connected, they were ordinary people doing honest work to build something for their families. Alongside Fernando, they had his older sister Lorena. By every measure, it was just a typical working class family. The kind where money's tight, but love and ambition aren't. Fernando's father did something that changed everything. He built a go-kart. Not bought one, built one, with his own hands, in his garage, with the kind of determination that comes from a father who believes his child deserves a shot. He built it for Lorena first, but Lorena wasn't interested. She didn't want it, but Fernando did. At 3 years old, this kid climbed into a homemade cart that his father had constructed in their garage, and something clicked. It wasn't just a toy, it was a door, it was a possibility. Fernando's father did something else that mattered. He painted the cart in the famous red and white colours of McLaren, the colours of Ayrton Senna, because Senna was their hero, not just Fernando's hero, their hero. Senna won 3 world championships. That number stuck with Fernando, not as a distant dream, but as a target, as a promise to himself that if Senna could do it, so could he. Why not? Alonso climbed through the junior categories quickly. He didn't waste time. He had something to prove, not just to the world, but to himself. By 2005, at just 24 years old, he won his first Formula 1 World Championship. He'd burst onto the scene and announced himself as a real deal. But he wasn't done. A year later, in 2006, he won his second World Championship. Back-to-back titles. At just 25 years old, Fernando Alonso was Formula 1's youngest ever double world champion. Everyone assumed that the third title, matching Senna's 3 championships, was coming next. Maybe even the fourth. Maybe it'd break records that we thought weren't possible. It was on top of the world, and then reality hit in a way that's crucial to understand why he's still racing at 44. In Formula 1, talent isn't enough. Hunger isn't enough. Even being the best driver on the grid just isn't enough. You need a car that can win. And starting from 2008, Alonso stopped getting these cars. He was still fast, he was still beating talented teammates, but the results for titles and many victories that his talent deserves weren't there. He's had difficult years. Some cars were so poor with mechanical failures and embarrassments. His reputation as being one of the best hasn't been doubted, but the results just haven't been there. It's been around 20 years since the last title. 20 years of trying to get that third title to match his hero Senna. It would have been so easy to accept 2 titles as enough, and it would have been rational, right, just to quit. It would have been what most people would do. Instead, he chose a harder path. He chose to stay hungry for something he didn't have. He chose to keep showing up, even in cars that weren't good enough for his talents. So I ask you now, in your story, look in the mirror. What do you do when the circumstances aren't perfect? When the tools aren't good enough? When success should have happened already, but didn't? Do you quit? Would you accept your 2 titles and call it a day? Or do you stay in the race, knowing that circumstances might improve? Knowing that the mission isn't finished. There's been success along the way. There may not be titles, but there's been a few extra victories, extra podiums, and points added to his record and legacy. And obviously, there's been a handsome pay packet for Alonso for his hard efforts and talent. People used to say athletes were done at 30. Once you hit the 3rd decade, your window was closing. By 40, you were supposed to be retired, replaced by younger, faster, hungrier people. But Alonso proved them wrong, and you can prove them wrong too. In your field, you're not past it. You're not done. Alonso proved them wrong through belief. His refusal to quit, his constant hard work, his consistent application, and his belief. Belief that age is a choice, not a destiny. Belief that the number on your birth certificate doesn't determine what you're capable of. Belief that the narrative everyone accepts as truth, you're done at 40, is just a story people tell themselves. And because they believed it, it became true. What do you believe?